more ways to get someone out. When you just bowl line and length outside off stump all the time and hopefully be patient and let the batsman make a mistake through pressure, the only way you can get them out is basically a nick behind. So there is a time for that bowling. When the ball gets older and it gets softer, that's when you can have that patient type bowling. But with a newer ball, you've got to attack the stumps and make the batsman play.
Bowling. Squared up there was Marnus.
He got hit in the back of the elbow late last night. It would have been a bit of a stinger. This one here.
Already this bowling this morning, doesn't it? Already this bowling this morning looks a bit more threatening. We've seen a few swing, we've seen a few seam. The bowled a bit fuller. There's been a couple of plays and misses already.
I think it's the intent. The intent's there to run and bowl, not just put the ball up.
That zipped through a bit quicker than what we saw yesterday. Looked like the real effort ball. Oh, that seamed.
Yeah, he had that seam pointed down towards the third man, the angle. It's a natural variation.
Oh, good bowling.
This is the new ball last night when it was taken, Brett. 2 to hit the stumps, 52 missing the stumps. And as we said, over 50% of those new ball deliveries were left alone by Australians.
2 balls with that second-year rock last night. That's not enough.
Nowhere near enough.
2 for 228.
Just on that other point too, with bowling that false stump line, as Warnie was talking about, you can use it in situations where you're playing a holding pattern. Like if you've got Warnie down the other end bowling his leg spin, building up pressure, my job might be just to don't go for any runs, just build the pressure up, and then they'll try something against someone like Shane Warne. So you've got to make sure that you know what your plans are. But that there, with that brand new pink ball, and I think the reason why Mitchell Starc will be successful is because he'll pitch the ball up. Yeah, he might go for a few runs, but at least he might blow the stumps away, or someone like a Richardson would also pitch the ball up as well.
I've got something for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a few of my English friends message me overnight saying, geez, you Aussies are lucky. So I thought, hang on, let's have a little look at some of the stats here to say, are we just lucky? I think we've played pretty well, you guys. So looking at this, and Australia in Brisbane played a miss 72 times, which is quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Adelaide, yesterday, day one, they played a miss 54 times. And to compare that to Adelaide against England, same sort of bowlers in day one, they only played a miss 41 times. So they basically played and missed 14 more times than what normally happens here on day one. And the average in day-night test matches in day one Adelaide is 39, so 15 more times they played a miss. So yes, they might add a rub of the green, but the one thing I added to my English friends was,
yes,
you've beat the bat a lot, but you've also dropped 7 catches.
Yep.
So when you have created a chance, you've had a few player misses, but when you have created a chance, you've dropped catches. 7 catches in one test plus a couple of days. Compared to Australia, 0 drops.
And how was that point received?
Interestingly.
Okay.
Yeah, they actually left the group.
England has departed the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, that's it. But it is like they have played a miss, which means they've created a few chances, but when they actually have created the nick, they've dropped them. So there's 7 drops already. That's a lot.
And it's frustrating too. It's hot conditions out there bowling. If you get a nick, you expect someone behind the stumps to take the catch.
Full to Smith. Just flows into a cover drive.
With Steve Smith's grip, sometimes you wonder how does he get the ball through the cover. He got such a strong bottom hand grip. See how you can see all his grip right around, but then to play that shot there, he's got such good eye, such good technique, and he's such a hard man to bowl to. And yesterday when he came out, he looked very calm, and he started the same today. I thought in Brisbane he was a bit edgy. He looked like a cat on a hot tin roof. He was jumping around all over the place, play some uncharacteristic shots. But he looks calm. It looks like he wants a big one here.
Slower ball. It's interesting to use the word calm every time I've heard Paddy Cummins speak since he's become the Australian captain, and everyone says as a result Paddy is always talking about calm, be calm. It seems to be the word that floats out of the Australian dressing room at the moment, calmness.
And a big leg cutter. Not a bad option for Stuart Broad.
G'day to Paddy, he'll be watching. We wish you were out there.
Oi.
2 for 232.
Connection zindagi ka.
Yeah, it'd be a real test of character out there today when you spend day one in the field and you have to back it up day two with the body a bit sore, temperature and the mercury heading towards 40. You're 1-0 down in the series. It's 2 for 232. This is where you need your senior players to stand up. This is where you need someone to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and say, come with me, boys. I've got this. Who's
Anderson
going to be?
to Labuschagne on 96. Oh, he drops the bat. That one spat at him.
The old
Cleaning jailer.
Spitting cobra. Happened
Excellent
a few times yesterday, didn't it? Gets in on the gloves. Oh, yeah.
Oh, hang on. We talked about this pitch being drier than normal. I just wonder if that disturbed the surface, Howie.
It looked like it did,
I'll
Shane.
tell you what, if that disturbs the surface,
Nathan Lyon. Oh, wow.
sometimes there's grass clippings on top that can just disappear, but I just wonder if that was actually the pitch.
Anderson pressing.
Because if that's the pitch and it disturbs the top, that means the ball's going to go up and down. That means some are going to bounce, some are going to stay down. That's when batting gets really tough. So a big first inning score is important. Let's have a look if it's clippings or the actual surface. Oh, I tell you what, that might have been the surface.
That's surface, yep.
It was dry, this pitch. There's the same amount of grass as always, 8 millimetres. But because of the hotter temperatures, the wicket was a lot drier. Now that bounced a lot off the length.
Something for Anderson in England.
Yes.
Squeezed away, runs down towards the rope. A fine 100 for Marnus Labuschagne, full of patience, grit and skill. His 6th Test century and his first against England.
Wonderful stuff that from Marnus Labuschagne. Worked hard, had a little bit of luck, but rode his luck. And the thing is with the good players, they make you pay. If you get dropped or you get given a chance, they make you pay. And that's what Marnus Labuschagne has done. He's gone on to make a big 100. Yes, it's taken a long time, 287 balls. It hasn't been easy. England have bowled quite well to him at times. They've had all different tactics to him. We saw Ben Stokes bowl some nasty short stuff. But it's another 100 to Marnus Labuschagne.
It comes back. And the patience of it, Shane, is Test hundreds from fastest to slowest. 161 balls, 163, 166, 169. As he leaves this one, So his previous slowest Test 100 was against India in Brisbane, 195 balls. This one has taken 287.
Yeah, nearly 100 extra balls. It shows you the patience and shows you the quality of what England have bowled to. And, you know, this game of Test cricket is not just about your skill, it's upstairs too, about your concentration, your temperament. Have you got the ability to forget what happened the ball before, drop catch? That's why it's just such a beautiful game, Test cricket. It's 5 days, it's long, it's hard, it's endurance, it's skill, mental concentration. There's so many things that go into you to make you perform at your best. And it's just, you know, this guy, Marnus Labuschagne, has taken a Test cricket. When you think about that nasty blow he copped off Archer at Lords, coming as a replacement player, he bounced up like one of those spring toys and just said, no, I'm right.
And has not looked back since.
No.
This time he works it away for at least 2. 2 will do it. 6 from the over. Australia 2 for 238.
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Raise your bat, Marnus. You played well.
Yeah, he has. He deserves a hug too from his captain, Stephen Smith. Greatest thing for Marnus Labuschagne at number 3 is he's such a great leader of the ball, and that's a great quality for a typical brilliant number 3 batsman.
Right, England need to fight back now.
I reckon one more for the openers, one more for Broad, and then bring in Stokes. Let Stokes let the horses out.
And if you bring Stokes back in, sorry Shane, are you getting him to pitch it up, or is it short stuff like we saw yesterday?
Pitch
where
up.
It was short.
Ball's only a dozen overs old. Hard new ball. You've got to make them play. You've got to be up. I think that I was interested to see that both Broad and Anderson started together. You know, we talk about batting in partnerships, but bowling in partnerships is really important too. And if you start with Broad and Anderson, so who goes next? Is it Stokes? You've got Stokes, Wokes,
Robinson.
And Robinson to choose from, right? So you've got to work out which guys are going to bowl together. Where if you have Anderson and Broad, if you had have opened with, say, a Robinson and an Anderson here, you then have Broad with one of the others, whether it be Wokes or Stokes. So you've always got one of your senior blokes bowling together to build up that pressure. That's why I was interested to see who was going to start. And they just went with Broad and Anderson, their best 2, or the most likely.
Going a long way across to the offside is Stephen Smith and letting it pass by him.
Just think too, with the amount of heat out there today, and they're obviously backing up after the Gabba. Hot conditions here today, short spells for the quicks. And that's the reason why I think that Stokes might be on a bit quicker than normal.
Yeah, you wouldn't see many more than 4 over spells, I don't think, out there today.
Currently 36 degrees. And a leg slip in for Broad.
Broad has that ability to the right-hander to bring it back in. It's just sitting, haven't quite got it right at the moment. He's just got a couple down the leg side.
Well, I mentioned Stokes and pitching the ball up. This is what happened up at the Gabba. David Warner. Now we cleaned him up, bowled him out. However, it was a no ball. But regardless of overstepping the front line, this is confirmation there. When he pitches the ball up, Stokes, he looks like a completely different bowler. I still think it's a combination of 90% balls pitched up with some short stuff to get him on the back foot. If he bowls everything full, then Labuschagne will be jumping on the front foot. But if he gives him some short stuff early on, then that nick and length will come into play. Great competitor, though. Big engine.
Two for 238.
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
So the change as you suggested, Shane. Anderson 3 overs for 11 this afternoon so far. And Robinson comes into the attack. Yesterday 16 overs, 7 maidens, none for 34.
Yeah, I reckon Robinson might be hard work here because he bowls a fraction fuller than Anderson and Broad.
Edged and taken! Robinson gets the huge wicket of Marnus Labuschagne with his first ball of day 2.
There you go.
That's it.
It just looks like when he bowls fuller, Robinson, he's always in the play. Labuschagne will be disappointed with that, but it was the fullish of length that drew the shot in. It was just a nice regulation catch to Josh Butler, and he'll have a bit of a sigh of relief, Butler, too, to take that one. Great length, nice and full. Drag the batsman forward, straight into the hands of Josh Butler. He'll be happy, but another wonderful innings. Oh,
Trouble.
no.
That's a no ball.
Oh, no, you've got to be kidding. Now, remember, if there's any doubt whatsoever, it's to the bowler. It has to be clear. The ICC regulations say if it's not quite sure, that's okay because it's when your foot first lands.
You reckon there's something behind that? I don't think there is, Warning. I reckon that's a no ball. I can't see anything behind the line there.
Just remember, the benefit of the doubt goes to the bowler.
Marnus had his bat up. He was then walking off, and then he's done a 180 and he's heading back out to the middle. Explain where the foot needs to be for those that aren't sure, Shane. Or
Yeah,
Brett?
well, obviously you have to have some part of your foot behind the line, but it's when it first hits, which is there. Now, the ICC regulations say if there's any doubt and it's not clear cut, that the bowler will have the advantage. But I tell you what, I don't think there's anything behind there, is there?
A no ball. Marnus all smiles.
Buy a lottery ticket.
He's a lucky customer. Dropped a couple of times yesterday. He's made 100. He's been dismissed. And the cricketing gods have said, Marnus, continue.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
Can you believe it?
Well, you don't want to be around the crowd at the moment with COVID, but I'll be going to the casino tonight.
Oh.
Let's have another look at this no ball.
That's beautiful length. Around about that 5.5 metre mark. Good shape. Cannot believe it.
So Marnus will reset himself, and the way he goes about it, he'll be as if he's starting from ball 1. And to be fair to say, he's a very disappointed Ishigua just hanging around over my right shoulder at the moment.
Well, we've been talking about showing character, showing everything, but sometimes when those sorts of things happen, they just flatten the team. You work so hard to take a wicket, and then something like a no ball, it just flattens you. I'll have another look at that foot again just to see how close it was.
Gee, you have to feel for England.
Yeah,
Gee,
you do.
have to feel for England.
Let's have another look at this no ball, Howie. Remember, some part of your foot has to be behind the line when it first lands. There's the zoom.
Yeah.
You can see the back of the line, can't you?
Yeah.
You can see the back of the line there, so it's clearly over, and there's clearly nothing behind the line.
He's cutting halfway down.
Remember what I said before, though, the ICC state that if there's any doubt you can't clearly tell, benefit goes to the bowler, but you can there. Wow.
All I could say as a bowler, that It's 40 degrees. You bowled all day yesterday. You've taken 2 wickets. They've dropped catches. You get out minus Labuschagne. You have to control your emotion because your heart rate will be close to 200, I reckon. Somehow got to get back on and switch on and bowl that next ball.
As does Marnus. Has to restart his innings again. Extraordinary scenes in Adelaide. Extraordinary.
No run.
Well, the one thing we did say, Robinson would be a handful because he bowled a fuller length, and first ball he got the edge. We just overstepped the line. That's a killer blow. That's just one of those things that flatten the team.
Marnus, when he spoke to Kath Loughnan yesterday after play, it was a great interview by Kath, and she said, you know, you had a couple of chances, and he said, well, my job is now to make the most of those opportunities. Robinson continues. Smith sneaks through.
The other thing is, you remember as a bowler, Joe Root, the captain, would have said to Robinson, right, next over, and he goes, right, yeah, ready, skip. And he would have sat there, marked his run up, right, let's come on, I'm going to give this to the team here. First ball, bang, the wicket, and then the no ball. It's just a cruel game sometimes. It just shows there's no cricket gods out there. It's 2 for 240.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Brodie's luck. That's the 100 celebration. Got nicked off a few balls later, but still there and counting. 102 off 296 deliveries, 8 fours and 392 minutes. And how's that for a wagon wheel?
This is a little bit odd here. We're just Stuart Broad, who's bowled pretty well this morning. To Labuschagne here, they're just going to change tactics straight away with Stuart Broad. They've got a couple of catch mid wickets. You can see on the right of screen, they've got a couple of men back on the hook after he's just nicked a full length one. This is a little bit odd to me, Howie. If you just nick someone off, surely you'd start to bowl fuller and add off stump again and try and get another nick. Decide to go short.
Well, we'll show you the moment where Marnus thought he was walking off to the applause of the crowd for his 6th Test century. He's soaking it in. Travis Head's getting ready to come back out. Oh, hang on. And look at the smile on that man's face there. It's like Christmas has come 7 times early. He's having a look at the big screen now, and he's realised, I'm going to have another bat today.
I think he's getting some good Chrissy presents, Marnus Labuschagne off Santa. One of them has just arrived at the Adelaide Oval, Howie.
Well, if I'm Robertson, I'm buying a bigger pair of shoes and wearing 3 pairs of socks.
The flip side of the equation, obviously, is the bowler in England.
It's just an energy sapper. Yeah. It's one of those things. Look at the Robinson looks back here and goes, oh no, surely not.
It's like that moment you're being caught talking at the back of the classroom, isn't it? You're being singled out by the teacher.
Yeah, that used to happen to Howie, not me.
I'm not sure about that, Shane. Whipped by Labuschagne, can't beat the field.
They've got to switch back on here though, England. They've got the breakthrough, they got the nick, did all the hard work, and unfortunately just that little layer of stepping over that front foot.
Oh, look at that shot.
Oh, no, look at that's a terrific shot, wasn't it? The
What a
despair and the happiness.
Got a hand on that. It's only about 20 metres from the bat. Robinson again in the action. It went hard. He timed it well.
I reckon that's dropped.
Yep.
I think he spilt that, and he's probably still thinking about his last over.
Would have been some catch. It's probably 22, 23 metres from the bat. So Marnus has been dropped 3 times now, plus the reprieve when he was caught. To be fair, Shane, it's rare I sit in commentary with you and you're speechless, but I think you're just about speechless.
Yeah. Just looking at that, I'm just thinking the no ball, what all the plans that England would have had and everything they would have worked towards. They bowled pretty well in those first up and up and overs. Let's bowl fuller, let's drag them forward. You look at the fields they set. And then they get the opportunity and it's a huge no ball. Sometimes just not fair. 2 for 241.
Well, you were talking about Robinson bowling fuller. I was watching the great MEK Hussey in the lab this morning and was illustrating the lengths that Robinson does bowl.
Yeah, just look at that green zone. That's the full length, and the good length there is the pink or the salmon. And you see, if you go on the cusp of the green and the pink, that's where you want to be.
Don't leave there. That's where to bowl. Right there. Look at the length. You look, Marnus Labuschagne looked to play it. He didn't. He was going to defend it, and then it was a last. But look where he's batting on off stump, so he knows where his off stump is. Anything outside his eye line there, he can leave. You can trust the bounce.
The other thing too,
but occasionally there, if you continue to bowl there, you want to field bat on ball some of the batsmen.
I was going to say too, Warnie, that the other thing they can do is look at Ollie Pope, who's at point, and just ask the question when you bowl the ball. Robertson should just look at him and say, how far forward is he? Is he lunging out of his crease? So they have to adjust my length, because at the end of the day, you want the ball going through to hit the top of off stump. So nice and patient for England. 2 slips there, waiting for the ball.
Just to illustrate Marnus Labuschagne, he's had an incredible start to his Test career. Passed 2,000 runs yesterday. We'll show you shortly how long it took him and the names he is amongst. An extraordinary start to his career. Quickest to 2,000 runs. Bradman, his name is always at the top of everything. 22 innings for him. Labuschagne leaves alone outside off stump. So you almost have to take Bradman out of the equation, Shane and Brett. But then this is the quickest to 2,000 Test runs any country.
That's got to be out there,
Has to
Howie.
be out.
Has to be out.
Okay, well, there's no shot involved. We'll go to ball tracking when ready. Okay.
It's got to crash into the stumps.
Impact in line. Wickets hitting.
Joy for England. Marnus is dismissed for the second time this morning.
Paul, you give Signal Ridge.
This time it is
You're
out.
on screen now. Signal now. Thank you.
An anti-climax really, but the end of a wonderful innings from Marnus Labuschagne, dismissed for 103, and Robinson finally gets his man.
Yeah, good credit to Robinson. He could have easily dropped his bundle and dropped his head to come back and see him after what happened with the no ball, how he let his team down, but he came back and he's knocked Labuschagne over the next over, so great stuff. This time Marnus Labuschagne is off for 103, and we'll get a warm round of applause from the Adelaide crowd.
Yeah, good bit of bowling at fullish length again. Pitched the ball up and they've got the results.
And here comes the hometown hero.
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
No ball. That is just an absolute energy sapper. So to then, he could have easily dropped his bundle, but to his credit, he came out, stuck his chest out and said, I'm going to do something about this, boys. Sorry. And he got him the next over. So well done to Robinson. And as we said before he bowled a ball, we fancied him with his length that he's going to bowl with this harder ball, that he could be the guy, the main guy with his length. Travis Head, the local boy, got a wonderful reception from this great Adelaide crowd. That's as good as I saw Travis Head in the times we've been watching him up in Brisbane, to get that 150, the way he batted.
100 in a session, yeah.
It was, what was it, the third fastest Ashes 100 of all time? He's now on his home ground, about to face his first ball.
No run.
Pushes away on the offside. Well done to Robinson. It's the end of Labuschagne. At the end of the 98th over, Australia are 3 for 241. Time for a change in commentary. Up next, MEK Hussey, ME War, and AC Gilchrist.
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Privilege it must be to work in that old scoreboard. You'd want to hope that they've got some sort of air conditioning in there today, upwards of 36, 37 degrees. Hot conditions for everyone involved at the Adelaide Oval. And the heat was right on England. A nice little fight back from Ollie Robinson after the disappointments of the no ball. Picked up the elusive wicket. Broad to continue. So the fuller length will achieve the success. Just need a fraction lower. Mike Hussey, Mark Waugh, good afternoon to you. But that one, just look at that comment. It looks like there has been previous deliveries of similar length that actually tennis ball over the top of the stumps.
Yeah, morning, Gilly. Junior and everyone, yeah, that was absolutely plumb. Yeah, I agree with you. I think Marnus, Labuschagne and Steve Smith have let a lot of balls go on length throughout their innings, and yesterday a lot of balls did carry over the top of the stumps. But how old's this ball? About 18 overs old. It definitely looked like it didn't bounce as much as perhaps yesterday.
Definitely not. We saw one earlier, actually. Marnus took on the gloves, which sort of popped from that length as well. But it just skidded. Might have just hit a bit of the shiny part of the ball and skidded.
Must admit I was most surprised that Labuschagne used a review there. It must have felt frightfully close. No shot, and it's hit your knee roll. Mid-knee roll. Helped into the gap and wasn't picked up by Wokes at fine leg. So 4 to Smith.
Yeah, length. I think Stuart Broad's bowled too short again today in this spell. He's bowled some good balls, but I think he's been a bit back of length again. Just set up nicely, didn't it? Chris Wokes did not pick it up at all.
It's a bad feeling as a fielder when you just don't pick the ball up off the bat.
It's worse if it's in the air.
Yeah, it's right when they call catch it, you don't know where it is.
Well, there's two blokes giving a bit of stick down there on the fence. It was funny because Marnus was shaking his head on the way off as well. He's been out off no balls. He's been dropped. And then he gets an LB.
He probably thought he couldn't be out.
No.
Surely that can't be out.
I'll keep going. They're here to watch me bat, aren't you?
If it is out, I'm not taking it. Just back to that delivery that eventually did dismiss him. 6.8 metres is the length that it pitched on from the batting crease, and it only bounced 64 centimetres, and the average bounce off that length in this match has been between 80 and 100 centimetres.
That's a big difference.
So yeah, it's 16 centimetres lower than the lowest of the average heights.
Well, you stick with Ridge's decision out. You're on screen now.
No, they're here to watch me bat.
To be really honest, I suspect he's shaking his head at his lack of judgment on that delivery. I think he would be crucifying himself at how did I make that mistake, which is extraordinary thinking. He's batted near on 300 deliveries. Leg by to finish the over. 3 for 246.
Polycab, कनेक्शन जिंदगी का.
Because they're all landing in a very similar area, but the second last ball looked like it just went away a little bit off the seam, so that gets into your mind as a batsman, and then the last ball just nipped back in, and Labuschagne, is he expecting it to go away, and that's why he didn't play a shot.
Yeah, forget about the bounce, which was lower. It actually nipped back a long way.
Yep.
And I just think he's hitting the rope, and it's going to go either way. I don't think he meant to bowl one that nipped back or nipped away. He just hit the seam and just let the natural variation take its course.
Yeah, even that first delivery to Steve Smith, that went away nicely through to the keeper. So I just wonder if he's, trying to adopt a similar plan. Try and take a couple away and then nip one back into Steve Smith and trap him in front.
Well, that's nipped again. That's good bowling, and the length's the key. Probably could be another metre fuller than that if you're being totally critical, but it's good bowling because it's going both ways.
Yeah, we were a little bit critical of the England bowlers yesterday, bowling too short and allowing the batsmen to let a lot of balls go and play a lot off the back foot. Had a quick chat to England bowling coach John Lewis, and he said the bowlers felt like every time they tried to push it up their full, it just hit the middle of the bat. So it made them bring their length back a bit shorter.
That was right. Like every time they did pitch it up, which wasn't very often, it went for four. But surely it's worth the risk of getting a wicket to go for a couple of fours. They kept it tight, but they didn't threaten enough with enough wicket-taking deliveries. And to me, that's a negative mindset, even from your bowling coach. He should be saying, well, don't worry about it. If you go for a couple of fours, let's set the field a bit straighter, which they didn't do. So they've got to have the right field to start with to back up that sort of plan.
Well, exactly. You bowl that shorter a length and you can beat the bat all day, but they only managed to pick up 2 wickets in the whole day. Yes, they had a couple of chances. They could have taken more. But it looks pretty when you're beating the bat and keeping it tight, but you've got to try and get wickets. The best way to get wickets on a day one pitch with the ball moving around a little bit is to get it as full as you can, encourage the drive. And as you say, if you get hit through the covers a couple of times, that's okay. Gives you more chance of picking up a wicket. Some really interesting stats came through before play. That teams that have bowled here at the Adelaide Oval, when they bowl that 5 to 6 metre range consistently, batters score under 15 runs per wicket, which is amazing. But when England bowled 35% of balls at the 8 metre mark, which is a lot of bounces, batters score 41.5 runs per wicket taken. So they've got to try and get it fuller.
It's a nice build up there from Robinson and Maiden. 100 overs complete. Australia 3 for 246. Fundamental errors here.
Well, the other thing is this run rate. You know, their over rate, sorry. They've got to look at that, England. That's a bit further up than the wicket where the no ball was.
Searches for what we think will be the last delivery of the over. That is 100 overs complete. 3 for 247. On to 4 Hill, is it? Colonel Light. He was basically the designer of the city of Adelaide.
Done well, done a good job.
Yeah.
Can't get lost in this city. It's just straight up and down. Not too many roundabouts or crossovers or one-way streets.
Well, this next half hour of play here is vitally important for England to try and stay in contact with Australia in this match. They've made the breakthrough. They've got a new man out at the crease, Travis Head. He's just faced the one delivery. Bowling change of Woakes in. It's crucial that he's taken notice of what Ollie Robinson's done, pitching the ball up. He's got a field set that is going to entice fuller pitch bowling.
I thought he bowled quite well yesterday, Woakes. He got the ball to zip and carry. I thought he bowled better yesterday than at the Gabba. A bit more rhythm and hit the gloves quite hard. I would have thought about playing Wood instead of probably Woakes or Robinson. But I guess his batting at number 8 was maybe a deciding influence. So he needs to bowl well now that Wood's mixing the cordial.
Stuart Broad's 5 overs from the Cathedral end. 5 overs, none for 10, which highlights the point you make. It's miserly in regards to runs given away, but perhaps too short again.
Would you rather, like at stumps yesterday, Australia be 4 for 280 or 2 for 220? A few more runs and a few more wickets. You'd take that.
Definitely more wickets, yeah.
Travis Head says thank you. Opens his account with a boundary. He knows this ground so well. It'll settle the nerves.
Well, that's a big miss from Chris Woakes. This is one of the strengths of Travis Head. Any width on offer. It's his best shot, really. Cut shot. He almost sets up for it. And that'll be just what he wanted to get his innings going again. I think from an Australian perspective, their plan coming in today was let's win this first hour. Let's get through as unscathed as possible. Make England toil in the heat. And then hopefully look to declare or get bowled out in that nighttime period and get a brand new pink ball with England batting under lights. That's what their plan will be.
It's a perfect plan. I'll tell you what, I know that was a loose delivery from Woakes, but that was a beautiful shot from Travis Head. His balance, and he hit it right in the middle. And even that shot then, so he looks like he's on.
Just to highlight the point of this opportunity, this small window for England. There's Cam Green, spare a thought for him. He faced the one delivery up at the Gabba. Let the ball go. It was a poor leave in the end. It cannoned into his off stump. So another quick wicket here. They'll have a man coming in off a golden duck. They'll have the man on his left, Cam Green's left, Alex Carey, and just his second test match. There'll be nerves in front of his home crowd.
No run.
The boundary off the over, it's 3 for 251.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Can't comment on how hot it is.
No.
What happens if you do say, gee, it's hot?
Look, there's 122 Richies here that are going to police that guideline, so you really don't want to be that Richie.
Gee, it's hot.
It's on! Put your wig on! Put your wig on! Put your wig on! Put your wig.
I get it. It's freezing. I'm so cold. One of you give me one of your blazers. Why don't you lead us into actually one of your real songs?
Oh, one of our songs, not so much song, but one of our major theme songs is from the Victor Trumpeters, and we'll let them belt out a tune.
Oh, there's a bit of an inquiry from behind. Hot work out there, breaking the code of contact.
Not hot at all.
Conduct.
No. Like the tunes, huh?
Yeah. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Great scenes at the Adelaide Oval. The Richies on day 2 all around Australia. They feature. It's near on 6 years since the great man left us, but his legacy will remain for a long, long time to come.
I reckon we need to count how many there is now and see if there's that many at the end of the day's play. The couple haven't melted under the chairs, collapsed.
So during the cross to the Richies, we saw that one just fall short. Rory Burns.
It's a good spell of bowling. Well, Robinson, probably the best spell of the match for England. Just got it talking and just doing enough.
Both ways.
The length's pretty good.
Yeah, he's creating doubt in the batsman's mind because he's getting some seam movement both ways. As a batter, when the ball's seaming, you're not sure which way it's going. The bowler doesn't know which way it's going, so it is a little bit unnerving, and it's hard to be really decisive with your footwork and your shot making as well.
Well, you're not sure whether to let it go, have a fish at it.
Yeah.
That's why Labuschagne was out, because he let one go that nipped back. He was expecting it to either go straight on or bounce a bit higher.
This is a fine example to his teammates from Ollie Robinson. If they're not observing this and taking note, there's big problems, because he has created issues here.
That one almost seemed too far. If it just went a little bit less, it would have caught the edge.
But this is good bowling. Look, he's getting into that green zone, the full zone, and he's not getting hit through the covers at all. There's enough movement there for him. Picked up the wicket of Labuschagne as well.
It's a nice set of 6. We heard umpire Paul Wilson say it's time for a drinks break.
New Layer Shot. Alpine Fresh. Crisp, fresh scent of the ocean. Fragrance. More fragrance. New Layer Shot. Fragrant body spray.
मस्त वाली ये हवा चली
पॉलीकैब कनेक्शन जिंदगी का।
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Wanting to be perfect, if you aren't willing to risk little things going wrong, you'll never get the chance to have the big things go right.
Sean, do you take Leah to be your wife?
I'm sorry.
करोड़ों लोगों की लाइफ बदलने के बाद अब आ गया है इंडिया में शार्क टैंक। इंडिया के कोने कोने से आएंगे नए बिजनेस आइडियाज और उनके बिजनेस को परख के इन्वेस्ट करेंगे इंडिया के सबसे बड़े बिजनेसमैन।
शार्क टैंक इंडिया 20 दिसंबर से सोमवार से शुक्रवार रात 9 बजे।
Co-presented by Upgrad, Black Dog Soda, and Acco Insurance. Co-powered by Flipkart, payments partner Cash Free, technology partner Dell.
Alex, these people are dangerous. I can take care of myself.
I need to see a copy of the new version.
Can you play?
This is the best augmented reality interface on the planet.
So you're the best in the world.
I'm here to win.
Billionaire charity work for the tough, and
we're going to change the world.
Contest.
Yeah, he batted beautifully. As you mentioned, he had to work extremely hard for all his runs yesterday, get through some difficult periods. Ben Stokes bowled a lot of short stuff to him, but he just hung in there. He just hung in there, survived, picked up runs where he could, and then just started to blossom later on in his innings. Today, again, he had to work hard. That was the 100 moment. He's pretty happy about it too. Did have a little bit of luck throughout the innings, but it was a magnificent century and has put Australia in a good position in this second test match here at the Adelaide Oval.
Having won the toss, Steve Smith, in his return to the captaincy of Australia, decided to have a bat. I'll be well pleased with the way it's positioned at the moment. It hasn't been free-flowing by any stretch of the imagination, but they've only lost the 3 wickets. It'll be Wokes around the wicket.
It's interesting what Steve Smith said about the pitch, that batting conditions were pretty tough. So maybe we've slightly misread sort of the magnitude of the Australian batting. We've sort of saying that England looked flat and didn't bowl that well, but Australia have obviously batted pretty well. And that's a good sign for the Australian bowlers, that there's enough there if they do get a chance later tonight.
Well, they have had to work really hard for their runs, and even the run rate's it's under 2.5 runs and over, and we're normally seeing nice timing from Travis Head. Just tapped it really. Easy too, but we're normally used to seeing the Australian team score up around maybe over 3 runs per over, so it does suggest that there's a little bit of movement there, and not easy for them just to come out and play the big shots. And it'll be interesting to see what sort of first innings target Australia are looking for. First innings runs are pretty important, probably try and get as many as they can, but they've got to marry that up with trying to make the most of this new pink ball and bowling with it under lights. So I wouldn't be surprised if, as Steve Smith said there, just get to the first break, assess where we're at, but perhaps in that second session come out and play a lot more positively and try and get as many runs as they can, and almost try and get bowling at the start of that last session.
It's not going to be like a normal test match where you just bat and bat.
No.
You've got to take into consideration that the added difficulty of batting with the new ball, new pink ball under lights. That's the hardest time to bat in the game. When it's soft, it's not as hard, but a new hard one is very difficult.
Right there.
Looks like the pitch is maybe just a tad quicker today. The ball seems to be hitting the gloves a bit harder for the keeper. There's Cameron Green having a yawn. That'd be me. I'd be yawning and waiting to go into bat. There's nothing worse. Feeling dozy and adrenaline, your nerves taking over.
The next two batters to come in will be pretty keen to get a decent score under their belt. Green, as you mentioned, Gilly, a first ball duck in the first test match. Alex Carey couldn't quite get going either. Looked good in the middle, but couldn't quite get going. So just to get that first score of a series just helps you to relax and feel like you're used to the bowlers.
Well, so too Michael Neza on debut. So England have an opportunity just to open it up here.
No run.
3 for 253.
गाइस कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Out along the river this morning for your
beautiful
for your stroll.
Yep.
Who'd you bump into? The who's who of cricket.
Who's who? Yeah. Saw Tubby Taylor and Merv Hughes. Howie
was out.
Yeah.
Was he?
Bingo come across Bingo early on. Huss, you would have been running as fast as a leopard.
Not this morning, no. Day off today.
Really? Why's that?
It's a bit tired last night. It was a long day yesterday. Yeah. Needed a bit more of a sleep in.
Okay. So you do double tomorrow. 10 Ks?
No.
Haydos?
Gilly's your man. You're a very good runner, Gilly, aren't you? Good pace.
Well, talking of running, Mark Howard's catch up with David Warner in the pre-game was really interesting on a number of levels, but spoke about his fitness, didn't he? He said he tends to do about 10 Ks in sort of 4 minute 30, 4 minute 40 per kilometre.
Just about get you in the Olympics team?
No, you're a long way off, unfortunately. But
Commonwealth Games.
It is a very, very good clip.
It's good going for a cricketer.
Yeah.
Sounds.
I suspect Merv and Tubby weren't at that sort of pace.
Yeah, that pace is a hammy or a calf waiting to go.
Lovely thing. Also, as you know, as commentators, we're very fortunate to come to beautiful grounds like this and follow the tour and watch some amazing cricket. It's nice from Robertson. Nice build up. Just keep him patient. We also get requests occasionally to be, whether it's fans or certainly on this occasion today, the Make-A-Wish Foundation, a young gentleman by the name of Liam coming up to the commentary box. It's Mark Howard is his favourite commentator and wanted to meet Howie, and
he's nodding in the background, Liam. Yep.
Junior went over and said g'day and introduced himself, and Junior said, oh, you might not know me, I'm a bit older, and Liam shook his head and said, no, I don't. But then he said, I know your donkey.
My pet donkey. Yeah, Liam.
He knew bully.
Sorry. It's another good delivery from Robinson, yeah.
It's a good set of 5 so far here from Robinson.
That's been the spell of the match so far. He's threatened nearly every ball.
very nice. Ollie Robinson. It's another maiden 3 for 253.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Yeah, it would have been interesting discussion in the English camp about the place of Leach, because I agree. I think this pitch will turn as the Test match wears on. But the intent of the Australians up in Brisbane was just so clear to see. As soon as Leach came on to bowl, they just looked to dominate him.
But they can't do that every Test match. The conditions are so much better for spin bowling here than at the Gabba. I mean,
And you can set more defensive fields as well.
Yeah.
Look after him a bit more.
this pitch is going to spin and bounce. Gabba was a green top, you know, any spinner would have found it tough.
This is a challenge for Travis Head here. Just that delivery there, around the wicket angle. Just got to be careful that he doesn't try to start to create too much. You see him stay leg side of the ball and opening the face. Maybe perhaps if it bounced a bit, he might have thought about running it. That's where England need to seize this opportunity to not let him get away like he was able to up at the Gabba.
He doesn't like letting the ball go, does he, Travis? He likes to feel bat on ball. And when you're confident, you know, that brings an element of risk because you're looking to hit the ball all the time.
I know that exact feeling, Junior, from personal experience. He's come over the wicket here. Edge, and again doesn't carry.
Oh, they're too deep again, the slip side. Too deep at the Gabba. I think Joe Root's too deep at first. Look, he's a long way behind the keeper. Soft hands. Come up a bit. Let's have a look where Joe Root is here, how deep he is behind the keeper. And that sets the second slip where his position is.
They're the toughest catches, aren't they, as a slipper, to come forward. You've got to dive forward to try and take a chance. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to dive forward. You just got to move your hands, don't you? But I get the feeling that they're just a bit deep again. It's not a quick pitch. If you play with soft hands, this pink ball, it's not going to fly through. That's where the wicketkeeper sets the depth, doesn't he, Gilly?
Yep. Pushing hard as Smith. I think he'll be restricted to the one. And Junior, it's a good point. The keeper does have that job, but when you're low on confidence, as Joss Butler would be very low on confidence, and tough day yesterday after a really exciting start, particularly dropping that easier catch in the evening, it can dent every part of your game to then be saying, well, guys, this is where we've got to be, and I need you there. It takes a strong character to still carry forward like that with that attitude.
His body language is never great. Hands on knees, sort of slouch, but that's the way he is. That's, I suppose, when he's going well, he's still the same.
Two from the over, 3 for 255.
Hang on, front foot check. Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now.
Oh, the no ball's proven costly as well. Chris Wokes You wouldn't want to look to Joe Root, the captain, at the moment. That's very costly. 3 for 260.
Yeah, that's probably a case of just not switching back on. He thought the over was over, done. Has to come back and bowl that extra delivery, and Travis Head, he's in good touch. Timed that beautifully off the back foot.
Just got a hand on it. I think it might have been Milan there. Cover, he's pretty short there. There he is, Milan. Plenty of tape on his fingers as well. He stopped that, it brings a bit of energy to the team as well. Would have been a good stop. Just see his head drop when he went past him. Someone needs to talk it up out there.
Maybe it's some time for someone like Stokes. He's a bit of a spirit player. Maybe he can come on and lift England.
Well, Wokes has looked okay, but he'd be the one I'd be replacing. There you can see this spell, the 6th spell from Ollie Robinson. 5 overs, 3 maidens, 1 for 2. That's good going at this stage of the game. He deserved a couple more, actually.
It's interesting that this is his longest spell throughout this match so far. Hot conditions out there as well. It's about 38 degrees. But I think sometimes as a bowler, short spells, I understand that you want to come on, have a burst, but it takes time just to find your rhythm and your groove and build into a spell. And I get the feeling Ollie Robinson's a bit like that type of bowler. He's metronome almost. He can come in, and once he finds his rhythm, he can be really high quality bowling. So I'm glad he's getting a slightly longer spell, and that might be why the reason why he's hit a really good rhythm.
What was your longest spell, Huss?
Not sure. Wouldn't have been many. An over before lunch here or there.
Bit of a skidder, weren't you?
Rudely interrupted by adjournments.
Right arm smorgasbord, really.
Skidder. At about, what, 110?
That's been kind, thanks.
With the wind. Have got whacker.
Got a couple of wickets. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Who are your big wickets?
Sangakkara.
Oh, yeah. Fair player.
Fair player.
Oh, very good player.
Hall of Famer.
Average 60.
Ooh.
Partnership ticks over to 21, but it's the deliveries that are more concerning for England. 49, so they're again working hard to find a wicket.
I'll tell you what they would have liked to have done. Got Robinson to bowl at head. Smith's basically taken all the strike, and sometimes you just, give Smith one. They got deep backward square leg now. Just give him one off the hip. Get Travis Head on strike to Robinson.
At least 2. A labouring Stuart Broad who chased that, and it allows Smith the opportunity to get back.
Gee, that shouldn't be 3. That's only 3/4 away to a shortish boundary.
Just watch how hard they run between the wickets here. Smith running the first one hard. Travis Head probably could have run harder.
Well, he thought it was going to be 2.
He thought it was only 2, definitely. Good running Steve Smith.
Yeah, and it was Smith glancing and picking up on the fact that Stuart Broad was really labouring after that ball as it went across this beautiful outfield. It's a flat ground, firm, and value for strokes. Interest from the bowler, but there'll be leg buys. Smith should come back for a third. Productive over for Australia. 3 for 268.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया, आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Critical moment in the game. 3 for 268, having removed Marnus Labuschagne eventually. The score on 241, but this partnership already worth 27. And I feel like England just missed a little bit of a trick there with Head coming in. The opportunity to bowl round the wicket with Stuart Broad, the ball in possession. Didn't bowl to him once. As the captain has decided to introduce himself. And two spinners alongside me, Kerry and Shane.
Good afternoon to you both. Yes, I agree, Isha. To Head, I mean, they'd look to bowl straight at him and broad around the wicket, straightening him up would have been the ideal, but they've let him get away with two of his trademark offside drives through point. That's exactly not what you want when you're bowling to Travis Head. That's his meat and drink. So they've made a tactical error there.
I'm with you, Kerry.
This ball's 26 overs old, so it's still quite hard. I thought Joe Root bowled pretty well yesterday. He actually got a couple to turn off the straight. I enjoy bowling the left-hander here. There's a bit of turn already. The wicket, as we've talked about through the last couple of days, is a lot drier than normal. There's the same amount of grass on it. I remember last year was wet. There's a lot of rain around. This year was a lot drier leading up to the Test match, so this ball might turn a bit too.
Nice job.
England have been a lot better today, haven't they? Oh, bowled a lot fuller, look more threatening all the time. Created an edge, an LBW, beat the bat.
Oh, nearly. Good from Root.
There is turn. You were right. There's turn, there's bounce. I think Nathan Lyon would have slept nicely last night.
Definitely. This is good work from Butler.
Look at that bounce. Taking that chest high. No?
Yeah. Very bullish about Nathan Lyon's prospects, Warnie.
Have another look at that replay. Oh, hang on. Have another look at that replay about where the keeper actually took that ball that spun. Good over that. Tidy over. Good maiden. Plenty of spin and some bounce. 3 for 268.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया, आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
You look at someone like Ollie Robinson, with the height that he gets, someone like a Josh Hazlewood. Hazlewood always bowls a fuller length here at this ground. So that would have been something that they could have looked at ahead of this game. What sort of lengths does Hazlewood bowl here? I know he's a little bit quicker than Robinson, but you can afford to be a little bit fuller on this pitch.
I think Kerry O'Keefe told us in the last Test match, Robinson is the third. Is it the third?
Highest release point in Test cricket at the moment, behind Jason Holder and Kyle Jamieson from New Zealand.
And so you look at what works at the pink ball Test matches here in Adelaide, and it's that risk reward. Do you bowl fuller and a chance to go for more runs? Yes, you do, because it's shown and proven that if you bowl fuller, it brings in LBW, bowl, caught, nicks, everything.
We're going to have a change in bowling. Robinson's spell, 6 overs, 7 runs, and the wicket of Labuschagne. Here comes Ben Stokes, that leg side theory. As Smith decides to go up and over, point for 4.
Yeah, look, Ben Stokes, is because they've got no Mark Wood, they've got 5 seams that all are pretty much the same around at 130 kilometres an hour, a bit more occasionally. But Ben Stokes being used as the enforcer here because there is no Mark Wood. And when you play 5 seamers, surely you would have thought, well, Mark Wood can only has to bowl 10 overs a day, and he can bowl this if you need it. So it's a big ask for Ben Stokes to try and bowl this short pitch barrage again on basically on one leg. He's got a sore knee. It's strange. It's a bit odd.
We heard from David Warner this morning speaking to Mark Howard. As, it clearly goes over his helmet. And Warner said that Stokes is his favourite cricketer in world cricket at the moment because he's a machine. He just keeps coming at you.
Well, you know, when you say let's go short ball theory to a batsman, it's not easy. There's not much margin for error. You get it wrong against good players, they'll belt you for 4. And it takes a lot out of you as a bowler too. So I thought what he did well yesterday was his accuracy when he was bowling those short stuff. So he did a good job. I think they maybe just did it a tad too long. You know, you can do it for 3 or 4 overs, then get back to the normal stuff.
He's almost a right-handed Neil Wagner, isn't he? He's used in that muscle man, rough him up mode. And I think stats will probably bear out the fact he bowls the shortest length of a number of the frontline bowlers around the world, Ben Stokes. Yet he's skillful enough when he pitches up to defeat the bat.
Well, he has the ability to get the ball swinging with the older red ball when he has it in possession. And that.
New layer shot. Alpine fresh. Crisp, fresh.
To get the ball swinging. It's an incredible skill to have. We see it with Stuart Broad round the wicket to get the ball leaving the left-hander. And Ben Stokes is someone who is very much able to do that with a red ball. Just a versatile cricketer.
See, I'm old school. I'd give him a slip, or I wouldn't have men on the boundary waiting for a swatted hook or pull. But is that too old school?
No, I don't think so.
As Isha said, he's a swing bowler bowling with no slips. He's almost condemned to bowl this short.
Different with a pink ball, I guess, as well. I haven't seen as much movement with it compared to the red ball.
No, but when the England bowlers have pitched the ball up, there has been a little bit of swing and there has been a little bit of nibble. We've seen a pad up, we've seen a couple of catches behind the wicket, some being held, some not. But there has been a bit when they've pitched up. When you bang it into the wicket and you're trying to seam the ball, it's not going to do as much. It's not going to swing.
End of the over, 3 for 274.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now.
इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
The way he and Marnus, their mannerisms, you'd think you're watching One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's ballet, isn't it? It's...
Good use of the feed on that occasion. He gets off strike to root.
I think Smith and Labuschagne have got some serious dance moves. Imagine them after hours with a dance floor. They might carve that up. Got Travolta moves.
Labuschagne with his crab move.
give that a go tonight somewhere.
Sober
Have you been inspired, Shane?
Yeah, I think I have.
Where's the place in town? In Adelaide?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a place called Crybaby that's not bad. I might have to give that a little visit.
The place in town is wherever you're at, King. Yes, I'm sure Nathan Lyon was observing every Joe Root delivery here, knowing that he's going to bounce it. There's going to be Mena in the back, Q Warney when he's bowling to Dawood Milan with a silly mid-off.
Exactly.
So there's going to be a lot of that later on tonight, you'd think.
Smith just hanging on the back foot, nicely guided. And another boundary to the Australia captain.
Yeah, look, Joe Root's a part-timer and a good part-time bowler. But he's going to give you the odd loose delivery. That's what they do. They do give you a freebie, and you've got to be good enough to jump on it. That's what the Australian batsmen are doing. Look, Steve Smith's too good to miss out on that. Short, wide. He ain't missing those.
Overdone. 3 for 280.
New layer shot. Alpine fresh. Crisp, fresh scent of the ocean. Fragrance. More fragrance. New layer shot. Fragrant body spray.
Polycab. Connection जिंदगी का.
And forwards.
Just looking at Nathan Lyon's stats for day-night test matches. In Adelaide, he's played 5 test matches here. He's taken 19 wickets at 25. And overall in day-nights, one at the Gabba and other places, he's taken 8 test matches, 29 wickets at 27. So he likes the pink ball. And he likes bowling here in Adelaide.
It's his most productive Australian test ground.
Yep.
He's taken over 50 wickets in Adelaide.
Yep.
Yours was the Gabba, wasn't it?
Yep.
Whereas Nathan Lyon is an Adelaide guy.
yeah.
He's curated it.
Yep.
Yeah.
He knows it.
Edged and over. And it'll be 50 to Steve Smith. Back as captain and in the runs.
High rank draws the best out of Steve Smith. It was an ugly swat, but the top edge cleared Joss Butler. He'll take that. Half century back at the helm. Well done from the captain.
Yeah, had a reach for Joss Butler. Thought it might have been close, but doesn't get any easier. It's been a mixture, hasn't it, for Steve Smith, of ducking and weaving, but also looking to play the short ball. We saw he came unstuck against Jofra Archer a couple of years ago, and then there was that period for a while where he struggled against the short ball. Neil Wagner really targeted him, bowling over the wicket, the left-hander, and got himself into a bit of trouble. But here he's looking a lot more convincing.
And as he went back to the grip he used in 2014-15 against India, where he got 4 centuries, where he's got all these fingers on the bottom hand, on the bat. Previously, he only had 2 really resting on it, but he's got a full bottom hand grip, which is now bottom hand dominant, and he feels he can play the pull and the hook a lot better with it. and it also gives him options offside. So he's prepared to have a swat at those rather than duck them because he's confident with his current grip. It's been a productive grip for him back in the day.
Does he just see that as a freebie because of the height of it?
Yes.
He tries to go for it.
Because he hasn't been a natural hooker throughout his career, but Neil Wagner alerted him that he needs to be able to hook again because he's going to get peppered around his rib cage and chest. So he had to adjust his grip to allow him to play those shots, and he's playing them with more confidence, and we've seen that today and yesterday on this pitch.
I think because he's playing that well, he's a lot calmer. He knows what they might bowl at, and he knows he's got his grip, and he feels confident with it, so he's a lot calmer with everything else. I think there are times last year against Wagner that he just looked a bit not settled and not sure whether to hit it, or he got a bit confused with it. Now I think he's got a nice game plan to it.
I wonder if it's worth changing up the angle, though, as well, coming around the wicket.
Yeah, good shout. Just mix it up.
And the over 2 for 3 for 287.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Bad ball to him, he punishes you. Yeah, it's an excellent 50, but I tell you what, he looks set. He's not finished yet. He's got eyeing off a big one.
He's got an incredible record as captain, a number of centuries that you guys discussed it earlier. It's quite staggering, really.
Unbelievable.
He loves playing against England as well, averaging 100 in the last couple of Ashes series. His head decided to target the captain, and he fetches 4 for his troubles.
Same strategy they used against Jack Leach in Brisbane. Don't let the spinner settle. Admittedly, it's a part-time spinner, but he went aerial Travis Head. He knew he got a good piece of it.
Partnership worth 50 now off 78 deliveries for these two.
Yeah, in the context of the game, it's quite quick. 50 off 78. It was 110 overs, only for 290, run rate of 2.5 or just over.
Oh, got him! Completely fooled by the England captain. Drops the pace off the ball. Travis Head is through the shot. And Joe Root has his man.
Excellent delivery. This is a fantastic delivery from the skipper for England, Joe Root. It dipped on Travis Head. Really gave it a bit of a rip, Joe Root. He has that ability to take a wicket. This is a big one. Look at this one. Nice rip. Look at that curve too. A bit of curve. Got plenty of revs on it. Just did him for flight. Dipped on him. He can't believe it's Travis Head, but well bowled, Joe Root. Excellent. He's pretty pumped too, Joe Root. He knows he's close. If he can get a couple of wickets here, they're back in the game. That's a big one for England. Travis Head gone for 18, and Australia now 4 for 291.
Polycab, connection जिंदगी का।
I think that was overall. Don't let Root settle at all. Get on top of him from the outset. Boundary off that first ball. Wicket to Root. Second ball.
Threw it up into the sky though, Joe Root. You watch this. He definitely threw it up. This is the setup for it. There's the one down the ground, and then the next ball higher and slower. Wasn't afraid, Joe Root. Could have easily fired it in, but threw it up there. Got himself in a bit of a tangle. Travis Head tried to hit it too square. If he had to look down the ground, he probably would have hit it. But undone by the off spin of Joe Root. Big time now for Green.
Yep. First ball duck. at the Gabba. Bowled well up there, but he's had to wait a long time to get another opportunity to bat. So 3 more balls left of this over, and men around the bat.
Now, team mantra, is it go hard straight away? Surely you can afford the number 6 a chance to have a few siders.
Coming off a naught too, Cameron Green. That looked like it was a fast straight with the stumps. Cameron Green's been out a few times, padding up in LBW and domestic cricket. We saw it at the Gabba, shouldered arms as well. Oh, and fast straight, was just trying to be at the stumps. It's fraction 2 full from Joe Root. This is good from the captain. Big wicket that was, big wicket, and needed by England. Tell you what, if they get another one now, we've got till 15 minutes to go to the break. They can get one now and have Australia 5 for 300. That's a good morning session. 3 for 80.
Oh, it's good. Probing over from the England captain, 4 for 291.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
Joe Root came on and bowled 2 straight with a leg slip and no slip. Today he's attacking, looking for wickets. Change of attitude, he's already got one. More to come, I think, for Joe Root.
I know Ben Stokes is the plan here to Steve Smith, but with the new batsman Cameron Green coming out there, I would have loved to have seen Jimmy Anderson or one of those guys come back in instead of Stokes, or Stokes decide to bowl full. Yes, he's only got a single with Smith, but now try and knock Smith over too with some nice off-stump bowling, just some good stuff, and then attack Cameron Green too. Who do you think's the best person to do that? Is it Stokes? Is it Jimmy Anderson? Who is it? Because you only got probably 4 overs to go, a couple overs this end.
Yeah, you feel like every time there's a wicket, that's an opportunity for England to really just try and seize a moment.
Yep. You've got to attack the new batsman with this pink ball. Anderson's only bowled 3 overs today. I just would have really been tempted to give it to Anderson. But Stokes has got the ball and Green still on naught. Chance, pitch it up, make him play.
Gets it away. Was he off the bat? It was. So first runs in the series for Cameron Green.
We know what a talent this Cameron Green is. We've seen him with the ball, and how good was he at Brisbane? If he can just get this batting side of things right, he's going to take a little bit of time to adjust to the intensity of Test cricket. Just needs a little bit of time.
I think you're absolutely right, though. He's had to wait a long time to get another opportunity to bat. So who are you more likely to want to face? Got him! Well, it's an absolute beauty from Ben Stokes. He's been putting in with the ball, bowling the short stuff, and when the moment comes, he's able to pitch it up. And another one goes quickly for Australia.
Well, Joe Root and England obviously thought that Ben Stokes was the best man to do it. The bowl full and straight, he can do this. So that's why they kept him on. It's excellent bowling. Bowled at the stumps again. That was the plan. England this morning have bowled full. They've bowled at the stumps. It's been terrific stuff, and unfortunately Cameron Green's gone for 2. And Australia now, interesting game. It's on, they're 5 for 294.
Polycab, कनेक्शन जिंदगी का।
his debut up at the Gabba. And a record number of catches for a wicketkeeper behind the stumps. He was promoted to the top of the order in Australia's second innings, with David Warner opting to slip down, and he gets an opportunity here on the ground he knows extremely well.
Yeah, we were talking about who was the best bowler that's going to attack the stumps for Green. We thought, could it be Jimmy Anderson? But England thought, yep, we're going to stick with Stokes. He's the man that can drag us out, and they were right. Ben Stokes was right. And just to sum it up again, this morning, what have we seen? Full-length bowling at the stumps. We saw a nick off a no ball, a pad up LBW, bowled. Just shows you bowl full and at the stumps with a pink ball, you're in the game. Just didn't do it enough yesterday.
Right call, you're right. Decision he would have deliberated over, but Ben Stokes on a roll.
And I think it highlights too, guys, for all Cameron Green's amazing potential, there's a tentativeness there early defending. And he was never quite in line. It was a Jaffa. Beautiful ball from Ben Stokes. It defeated the outside edge, took the off stump. But problems for Australia with Big Green early on.
Yeah.
Just he doesn't quite get in line. He shouldered arms in Brisbane. Yep. He's missed this, although full credit to the bowler.
There's a pretty good ball, that. There's a pretty good ball to get first up, and credit to Stokes is what we were talking about. Bowl at the stumps with a new batsman, especially Green. Excellent stuff from Stokes. Really good.
Sign two, guys, that the bounce is starting to recede from this pitch. There's been an LBW and now a bowled.
Does Joe Root bowl the next over?
I would. I like his
10 minutes
work.
ago.
I like his work with the pink ball.
Yeah, I'd stick with him too. See what Smith wants to do. You got Alex Carey, the left-hander, on next. I'd stick with Root.
He's a talisman, Ben Stokes, isn't he?
He makes things happen. Sensing an opportunity here.
All bowled.
Very good.
Pace.
Might have caught some shoulder on the way through to Butler there. A good one for England. 5 for 294.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया, आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball.
Yes! दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now.
इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
So 2 quick wickets for England. And they've just opened the door. That Steve Smith remains on 53, and he holds the key. No shot played, so dead ball signalled.
Interesting, guys, to see what Steve Smith's tactics against Joe Root will be here. Not long before the break, 3 wickets down this afternoon. Will he continue to attack him? Slip in, leg slip in.
One. No, they're going to get 2. Great running from Steve Smith. Joe Root would have only wanted 1 there. That might have been the one on the hip just before lunch to get the single and get the left-hander, Alex Carey, the new batsman, on strike, but he got 2. Great running, good match awareness from Smith. Look at that straight away. 2. Excellent stuff from the skipper. Captain to captain.
Stuck with that straight line round the wicket to Smith. Something that Ashwin did to him last season. Tried to bring the leg slip into play. An extra bounce.
Warner, you saw around the wicket to right-handers as attacking, didn't you?
Yeah. I always thought that if you don't have too many fielders on the onside and you bowl at the stumps, you get them to try and leave the gaps for them to try and use the bat through there. Very rarely do you block all the fielders on the leg side and bowl out there. I always saw it as an aggressive approach. 5 for 296.
पॉलीकैब कनेक्शन जिंदगी का।
About 8 minutes to go until the dinner break.
They might get 3 in. Stokes bowls his overs pretty quickly too. Root gets through 1, so Stokes might have 2 overs and Root 1. Some interesting stats here that we've been to back up what we've all been talking about this morning. So today, all the England seamers have talked about how threatening they actually look. They look, we've already seen the no ball caught behind. We've seen a pad up LBW, a few plays and misses. They've looked threatening. They've actually bowled 30 centimetres fuller today than what they did on average yesterday. So, why didn't they do that yesterday? That should have been the way they went yesterday. And here's another one. Stokes, the wicket we saw when he bowled Cameron Green, out of all the bowling he did yesterday, that was the second ball he bowled that was hitting the stumps. Now, we know he used an enforcer role against Labuschagne and Smith and went the short ball tactics, but he's bowled this is 17th over, and it was only his second ball that hit the stumps. I'm getting more used to them, Kerry.
You're an instinctive player. If Crick Viz and all the analytics had been around in your day, would you have had a look at it, or would you have just backed your instincts?
Well, I think the instincts and that should always be first, and then you can back it up and confirm it by statistics. I don't think the statistics should determine selection or where to bowl to someone. I think they should be used as a confirmation to back up what you think.
We've definitely seen that creep in a lot more for England, using the stats as opposed to the instinct. But that was an instinctive move from Joe Root to keep Ben Stokes on.
Yep. But here's the thing also, back 30 years ago when we started, you had to use your brain. You had to remember how you got people out. You had to work out how watch their grip, how do they hold the bat, what stance they take, what guard do they take, where do they sweeper. You had to find all that stuff out really quickly as a bowler, and then to dictate your plans on how you're going to get somebody out. So you still got to have that because you haven't got the stats out in the middle. You need to adapt quickly to things. You've got to think on the run. So I love all the stats and those types of things, but I've got to be a secondary to your brain.
But that's why...
This is a match awareness thing right now, Ish.
Yep.
No single. Let Root bowl to left-hander.
Final ball of the over. And it's a good ball as well. Trying something different, full, straight. He's putting in here, Ben Stokes. 5 for 301.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखिए इनकी।
ये बॉलिंग देखिए हमारी।
भैया, आप अपना गेम खेलो।
And it's the last ball of the match. And he's clean ball. Yes.
दिल से खेलो with Betway. Download the app now. इस खेल में फाइनेंशियल रिस्क शामिल है और इसकी आदत लगना भी संभव है। कृपया जिम्मेदारी से और अपने जोखिम पर खेलें।
So they worked really hard then to keep Alex Carey on strike to Joe Root here for that last ball. Now look at the field now. There's 3 men on the fence. There's a deep point. There's 2 men back out on the sweep. So I would have those guys up. There's 4. You can see them on the left of screen. 2 men out on the fence. If he bowls a good ball here, Carey can push one in the gap to the right of square where that man's out on the fence. Bring him up. So he's just, there's an easy single on offer. Would have liked to see them all board up, even a bat pad on the offside or the onside, the one to go straight on. There's 4 minutes to go to lunch. He's just walked to the crease. Is it going to turn? Is it not? This is better.
Yeah.
Okay, I still like to see another man under his nose. I'd like to see him just not allowed to just play a forward defensive shot with no real pressure in front of him. You can see you can just push into that gap for a single. That's what Alex Carey is trying to do off a good ball. You shouldn't be able to score or get a single off a good ball in a defensive block. Carey missed out. Joe Root looking threatening, isn't he?
Oh.
It just looks like he's going to take a wicket. We saw that one of Head where he got a bit tangled up, Travis Head, but there's a bit of turn and there's just a bit there.
Confident with the pink ball, isn't he? I mean, he has a test fifer with the pink ball, so looping it strongly. The dip undid Travis Head.
I might get one more over in here too. Oh, well bowled. There's that single. I wonder if the stats tell you to have a deep point where your head say, hang on.
It's one of your pet hates, a single off the second last ball or the last ball, isn't it?
Pet hate a single when there's a deep point out there. Just shouldn't be a run there.
England is shading this session nonetheless.
Yeah,
done well here.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it, 3 for 80 this session or 3 for 81? There's about 30-40 seconds to go and 1 ball of this over.
End of the over, 5 for 302. Having a think about it.
Oh, there's 10 seconds left.
England rushing through.
If the umpire have to be standing position, if the umpires are standing in position and the time isn't there, you have the extra over. Yep, it's going to be 1 more.
And Ben Stokes to complete before the dinner break. Well.
Red time. Something always happens in red time, Skull.
Yeah? I've never heard the term red time.
Yeah, red time. Overtime. It's meant to be lunch.
Ah, right.
Snuck in the extra over.
Here we go. Mixing it up a lot more now, Ben Stokes. Almost exclusively the short stuff. Now it's the good length to the new batter, the slower balls. He wants to make him play every ball here. Not much you can do about that.
That was a good ball. Hadn't hit his back pad at least. The waltz.
I think they've identified he loses his front shoulder and just puts the bat at the ball.
Good shot. Right, leg gully in place now. Ben Stokes has earned a little chicken with plum sauce and a little drink as well here at lunch.
He talked about Carey playing the short ball well, but it has been a vulnerability for him in his career. It's something he's had to work really hard on, so just putting it in his mind here. But it might be worth a bluff rather than bowling the short stuff. Actually get him playing outside the off stump.
Well, we talked at the start of the day that England have to win this session. If they're going to stay in the series, they're going to stay in this match. They have to win this session. They have, what is it? Is it 3 for 81? I think they've got this morning in this first session. Only 4 balls to go. You'd have to say, yep, give them a tick. They've won this session. They've learnt from their mistakes yesterday. Can they create a little bit of magic in these last 4 balls and make it a really good session?
Is there a little tickle on that as it goes through?
What a spell from Ben Stokes has been. All heart, hasn't it, Skull?
Oh, what a yeoman he is. I just heard something through the mic. Old ears, but no reaction.
I look like daylight between bat and ball, but I definitely heard something. It might have been bat coming through in the...
I think it's your lunch order, you two.
Chances.
Joe can't believe that nobody else is interested.
Interesting, he did bowl that cross seam, Stokes. Oh, nearly.
Well, with England shading this session, Australia won't be in a position to declare, you wouldn't think. So if they get bowled out, it may be in their interest to have a real 30-odd over crack at England tonight. So that'll be interesting. Either way, we're going to have a compelling last couple of sessions of day 2.
No,
nothing
on Snicko.
I told you it was your lunch bell. Not sure we've all got the same lunch today.
We need to work on that hearing aid that we have, Kerry.
Yeah.
You two have got the chicken and plum sauce. I've got the pie and chips.
Of course you have.
I reckon a full one is due.
Oh.
Spot on. This has been a spell from Stokes.
I thought he might bowl it slower, though. He's bowled that full pace on the stumps. And he is just showing all his versatility in one spell, Ben Stokes. He can do everything. He can bowl over the wicket, round the wicket, pitch it up, get it swinging, bowl it into the pitch, bowl the slower ball.
Yeah.
Just
an inspiration to his team.
Incredible.
He's got that ability to inspire his teammates and drag them along.
And
Come with me, lads.
Yeah, he keeps coming at you. Final ball before the break. And Alex Carey gets through unscathed, but it's been a good session for England. They had to fight back today, day 2 of the second test match at Adelaide. Australia comfortably taking day 1. But important for Australia, Steve Smith still there watching it all unfold from the other end. He will continue on 55 not out. Australia having made it past 300, 302 for 5. Warm, hot conditions. Ben Stokes, outstanding spell from him to back up his captain. And he can go into the break and have a nice big feed before England come back out again. Labuschagne, the first wicket to fall this morning, out for 103, eventually to Robinson, who picked him up, but deemed to be bowling over the front line, so had to continue head out when the score was on 291, and then a wicket falling very soon after. Stokes with 2, Robinson, Broad and Root all with 1 apiece.
Guys, कौन जीतेगा आज?
बैटिंग देखी